Hi everyone, it's Nubian Sun, Ra, back with another one. Welcome back for those who've been following my videos, and welcome for those who have just now been guided to one of my videos or this video. Today I would just like to remind you all about divine timing, and this video is inspired by a video that I made a couple days ago about the setup about getting people into timelines or frames of consciousness that they are not ready for. I would just like to say there's nothing wrong with waking people up to a certain extent, because everyone needs to have awareness of what I would like to call the basics, and that is what's going on in the world around us and how to go within. But to go and tell someone overloaded information about what's going on in the world around us, like with the government and stuff, or too much about going within, and you lay it on thick. Some people have a hard time processing that information, and it can make a person go mad. You don't know the capacity of that person and how much they can take, and it's not even how much they can understand or understand. It's the frequency. It can be overwhelming, and it can make a person react in different ways depending on the person. So a lot of times we have to be careful in our delivery to make sure that we do not give a person a vibe that we did not intend on giving. Like, for example, when I first came into learning about how grimy the government was, I wanted to partake in reckless acts. Things that can be dangerous to one's life, and it's because the frequency and the intention of the person that was sending the information. So whenever we are giving these information, and the intent and the frequency in which we give it is very important to refrain from having anyone just go into a frenzy, and to do something that is outside of what we would intend them to do, basically. For example, also, not saying I ever done this, but, just for an example, a person could just have woke up and found out about what they're putting in, what the government's putting in the food, in the tap water, in the healthcare supplies, and about the 3%, 1% that rules over the currency, and how the economic roots affect us, and things like that. And they might just decide they want to go rob a bank. They might just decide they want to go rob a store. And the intensity of that person that might have shared that information with them, it might have been so intense to the next person, to the point where they felt like they had to do something. And that's without using discernment. So a lot of times when we put out messages, we have to let the person know that discernment is important. Yes, it is good to wake up and be aware of what's happening with our government. Well, the government, and what they're doing, but it's ways that you go about doing it, a way of moving, like switching to non-fluoride toothpaste instead of using fluoride toothpaste, switching to more fruits and vegetables instead of eating meat, boil your water instead of using tap water, things like that, instead of going to extremes. That's something I had to put out there, because not everyone thinks like that usually, but I always talk about mind magic, mental magic, and things like that, and sometimes we unintentionally might trigger someone, and we're not really aware of the power that we hold within our words. That's just for starters for this video, but that's not really what I came here to talk about. I really just wanted to speak on what the 3D will call, bottom of the barrel. That's the poor, and most of the poor, they say, are in America, are people of color. So I would just like to say, usually, whenever we go into percentages, that is what they portray to us in the media. I'm not here to get into if that's true or not. I just want to prove a point, because I understand that, there's poor white people too, but that's neither here or there. But the bottom of the barrel, when we get into it with the government, they always try to control the people at the bottom of the ladder. I call it a ladder because, once you climb it, you get into middle class, and then you get up high, you get into, the higher ups and stuff. And just like anything else, whenever the bottom stops whenever we stop working, participating in the system in any shape, way, or form, it trickles up. Just like how whenever they do something, it trickles down. Whenever we do something of any way, shape, or form, take any action, it trickles up. So whenever we start waking up, start speaking our truth and stop doing certain things, it affects those that's up the ladder. And eventually things will fall, And this is proven science, because that's the saying, what goes up must come down. Things you do come back to you, things like that. It's just pretty much common sense. So we have to know how much power we hold as a people. Whenever we change the way that we think, and we actually start caring for our mental health, and we make it a habit, and it starts changing the way that we live amongst one another, it affects the agenda of what the higher ups up the ladder have for us. And that's why it's important for us to actually make these moves. And it's the smallest move, but it makes the biggest impact, And that's one thing that's hard for us to do. And they know this because they've been working years and years on and betting on us never to find the power within ourselves to be able to have boundaries and learn what's good for us and actually do those things. But a lot of times we are also forced to do these things. They expect us to plead and comply because we're waking up. They want us to plead and comply when they take things away and when they put us in harsher conditions because they feel like we're already spoiled with what we have, which is breadcrumbs, So they want to stop our ascension. But a lot of us are catching on to the trickery, the mental magic, the mind psychology, mind fuck. So we are literally having the harsh conditions they're trying to bring upon us move us into the new age, the shift. And a lot of people is shifting into higher consciousness unawares, because we actually are in a predicament where what they're doing is working for us, because the universe, everything that happens is working for us, not against us, if we look at it in that way and move accordingly. So, a lot of people's catching on to that. And I feel like that's a powerful thing because once we realize what's going on and there's enough of people doing it and we're actually passing on knowledge and support to our youth, then things will eventually manifest into our favor because they're not bringing America down on purpose. It's actually happening divinely. They just trying to make it seem like they're doing it on purpose because they always want to seem like they're in control. Whenever things do fall, because in the Bible it says that Babylon will fall, and in spirituality we believe in karma. So Babylon will fall. And I'm not religious to where it's like I use those kind of words. I actually just believe in their destruction because they cause so much destruction to others. So you can see it happening, in front of us. And when it actually has completed and they have came to where they have to face the piper, and actually face what they have done, people are able to build by choice. A lot of people is going to follow the government's rebuild and what they want to do. And there are others that are going to separate and build elsewhere. And rightfully so, divinely so. And there is nothing they can really do about it because nothing that they will rebuild is going to be able to stand because they have so much karmic debt, the things that they have done over the years, and there's divine timing for everything. So we should not be deceived. That's my opinion on it. I don't know about anybody else and how they look at it, but that's how I see it. And that's all I would like to say for now. I hope everyone is drinking their water, earthing, meditating, saying your affirmations, staying balanced, and loving yourself. Peace and love.